What's going on, everyone? Today I'm going to be installing an Aero steering wheel on my 2003 Saab 9.3 ARC. So I picked up this steering wheel secondhand. It was only $75. I got a really good deal on it. It's not in perfect shape. It's a little bit, can't really tell on camera, but it's a little bit beat up. The only thing wrong with the silver trim is it's messed up a tiny little bit right there, but besides that, the steering wheel is in perfect shape. As I'm sure a lot of you 9.3 owners already know, or hopefully know, there was an airbag recall on these cars. It does not affect the 2003 model year. So if it is from a year that has the recall, I believe it's 2006 and up, you'll definitely want to check that out to make sure that your steering wheel, or your airbag, excuse me, isn't going to kill you. One other point of interest I want to mention before I get started with the install is, of course, this whole head unit, everything is completely different on the 03 to 06 9.3s. They updated it and made it much better in 07, and with that came different steering wheel buttons. So if you have an 03 to 06 and you get a steering wheel off in 07 or newer, the buttons are going to be different. So make sure that you get the right buttons. I'm not sure if they'll still work or not, but I had these changed out for me, so these are the buttons that match with these, so everything should work. You might also notice that this steering wheel does not have paddle shifters, while the Aero steering wheel does. I have been told they should work. We'll find that out at the end of the video, obviously, once it's installed. So yeah, I'm excited for this install. Let's get to it. I'm excited to finally have some Aero pieces in the car. I unfortunately don't have any door trim or shifter trim yet to match it, but I'm sure I'll get that at some point. So before you get started with your install, the first thing that you're going to want to do is disconnect the battery, because God forbid your airbag goes off on you for some reason, which it shouldn't regardless, but just disconnect the battery to be safe, because you never know what's going to happen, and new airbags are not only extremely expensive, but if this old one blows up on you, needless to say, it's going to end bad. So I might add, I just got a new windshield for the car today, and because it's a new windshield, I can't wash it for 2 days, so it still looks absolutely filthy, and I'm just dying to wash this thing. So I would recommend turning the steering wheel like this so you have access to the two little holes in the back. Now you need to stick a flathead in there, and there's like a little metal tab, you can see it right there, that you have to push to the side, and once you release both of those, the airbag should come off. So I've been told that this is the hardest part of the whole install, or whatever, is getting this old airbag off. So I spent about 10 minutes and I got the top thing, clip, whatever you want to call, moved. I'm going to show you guys how to do it real quick. So once you get the screwdriver or Allen key or whatever you're using engaged on that little clip, or whatever you want to call it, you're going to pull up on the top one. And once you do that far enough, I've been pulling on the airbag too as I'm doing that, and you can see it's finally a little bit loose. Now I gotta do the bottom one, which should be the opposite, so hopefully now that I got one, I can do the other one a little bit easier. So, you know, lucky me, I get the bottom one off now, but in doing that, I ended up pushing the top back in. So I'm gonna get something to stick in here to like wedge it so it stays off, and then I'll do the top one again, and hopefully then I won't screw myself over. Finally got it off. It took quite a bit of force. I actually got both unhooked, and I went to pull it off, and they ended up both pushing back in, so I had to completely redo it. That was very tedious and quite frankly frustrating, but you'll notice this being the 03 to 05, whenever before the recall, pre-recall airbag versus recall airbag, how much different they are. So you might struggle a little bit. I'll give you guys a good view of this though if you're using this kind of airbag to like kind of figure out like how you want to do it exactly, I guess. But now we just have one nut right there, and that should be the only thing that's holding the steering wheel on. That is one meaty screw. Boom. So don't be too concerned with the orientation of the wheel, because you'll see in here there's a bunch of little teeth. It's hard for the camera to focus on this. and on that side it's flat, so there's only one way that you can put the new one on and take the old one off, so don't worry about your steering being messed up. Let's get this new one on. Plug this connector in right here. This will obviously go to all the steering wheel controls and whatnot. And then you've got two for the airbag. Can't really mess them up. One is yellow, one is purple. Alright. Those are all in there. Airbag should just click in. There we go. Install took about 30 seconds, removal took about 30 minutes. Curious as to if any of you guys caught this, but I just realized I forgot to put a rather important piece back in. So luckily, this one came out in about 30 seconds as opposed to 30 minutes, so I got this one off a lot easier. Maybe it's just because I'm finally getting good at it now. But I'm gonna have to put this one back on. Kind of a pain in the ass, but I'm glad that I caught it now. Okay. I was just so excited, I guess. I don't know. Or I'm just that stupid. I think I'm just that stupid, though. I'm not going to give myself the credit. Okay, that's on there nice and tight. Let's plug this back in. Okay, is there anything else I'm forgetting? I think we're good. Alright, now let's go reconnect the battery. Starting up your cars in a very weird way. I'm gonna do it from the passenger side just because, let's be different. YOLO. So I mentioned I was going to be filming a first drive video. That kind of backfired on me simply because, well, I ended up driving it that night and I've driven it about 100 miles since then, so that first drive video, I think I'm still gonna do it, but rather than it just being like literally the first drive, I'm just gonna talk about like how it drives after not being driven for 2 years, like what's wrong with it, how's the transmission, etc, etc. But really all I'm gonna do right now is just test if the paddle shifters work, because so far, let's see if radio and everything works. Yep, radio buttons work.
More, and you can expect more from Cox Business. Switch today. Bundle 50 megs internet and 1 line of standard voice with unlimited
is working. So we're in drive. Let's switch it over to the manual mode. So let's see. Switch hands here. It is not working. Yep, they're not working. Okay. Well, that's kind of disappointing if I'm being quite frank. That's disappointing. Everything's good besides that. So, not the end of the world, just like I said, a little bit disappointing. My guess is because maybe the connector just isn't included or something. I don't really know. So I'm thinking to make these buttons work, maybe just a Tech 2 is all I need, or they might not be compatible at all. I'll certainly keep you guys updated and mention it in a future video for sure when I get around to programming it. Obviously not a concern right now, but yeah, hopefully it's just a Tech 2 thing and I can get it fixed. So that's gonna wrap up this video, guys. Hopefully, I don't know, hopefully this was informative to some of you. Like I said, a bit of a disappointing end to the video, but overall I'm still happy. I mean, I've really wanted an Aero steering wheel for this car for quite some time. So if you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up. I'll see you all next time.